Welcome everybody back to BeamNG.drive, and today we're doing another episode of Will It Survive? And yeah, we've got a couple of new vehicle, well, one remastered, this Legrand, and a new vehicle to try out. And yeah, we're going to be also taking out a convertible version of a car I think we've already had on this series already. But yeah, nonetheless, let's start off with this Legrand. I'll show you it off in the menus first so you can see it as its whole thing. But yeah, this is basically part of the remastered version of the Legrand. And it's based on it's called the SE Champagne. So it's basically a lifted cross-country model, 3.3 litre V6, all-wheel drive with low range, lifted suspension and all-terrain tyres. I think it's based on a vehicle called the AMC Eagle, which was a 80s station wagon that was also lifted and had all-wheel drive. Basically the first ever crossover. So let's see what this can do. So obviously with all-wheel drive it's less susceptible to drive train failure or anything like that, because we've got more wheels that are being driven. It's not just the front wheels that we're depending on like a normal Legrand, so it does have that going for it. But then there's probably also more weight behind this, and yeah, a fair decent amount of speed as well. So let's see what we can do at full chat first. Heavy impact on the front, and we're going to be going somersaulting, or barrel rolling, whichever way it is. Well, we're definitely barrel rolling now. But if it lands on the roof, that'll at least minimise the damage to the underneath stuff. I think we survived our first go. Are we able to still steer and everything? Yes, we are. And the chassis is bent a little bit, and it's not steering completely well. It's really pulling heavily to the left, but it still moves. Some speed, and we're still able to steer enough to make our way down here. So yeah, overall impressed by that. That was a heavy hit on that we landed on the front initially, and obviously we did roll about a fair bit as well, but it was that first impact that really did the damage. That's what's made the radiator go, made a lot of the bodywork be damaged, and what's making the steering pull us to the left as well. But yeah, it survived, and yeah, really rather in good nick as well, to be honest. It's not lost any wheels, didn't lose any drivetrains, the engine hasn't been damaged, only the radiator, we've not lost the fuel tank, and yeah, most of the bodywork is still relatively intact. So yeah, massively surprised by that. Right, let's try out the convertible version of a car that we've already had on this series before, that I was talking about earlier. And where is it gone? There it is, the blue book, and we're going to go for the two-door convertible, 423 cubic inch V8. So yeah, plenty of power, as you can see. 295 horsepower and 406 pounds-feet of torque. Means that this heavyweight beast is far from slow. But obviously, being a convertible, it's got less rigidity in its chassis and bodywork, meaning there's a lot of flex there, which can make the car susceptible to failure, especially in comparison to a hardtop. So let's see how it does. So we're going faster than the Gavril was, the Brookell even, the Legrand. Landing on our side, which is not good, that's exposing our wheels. We've only lost one front wheel so far. Hopefully we don't lose another, are we gonna? Yes we are. Yeah. Landing on our side like that really does a hell of a lot of damage to the wheels. It's basically the same principle as, being in a boat. Don't leave your side open to attack, and that's what happened with this. Probably because of the aerodynamics of the vehicle being a convertible. It's not smooth in aerodynamic form as a hardtop. So let's see if a little bit of braking at the end here helps. We're still coming down hard on our left hand side, but nowhere near as hard as last time. Not mind losing that left wheel as long as it saves the rest of the car. That's a big airtime, that. Ooh. Let's turn the engine off because it looks like we're going to come to the water. after slowing us right down there and giving us another somersault. Look at it, we did turn the engine off, so we're not going to hydrolock. But we've still got to drag this out and see if it works, which can also prove damaging if we're not careful. Deep, deep pool this is. Come on. I think we'll probably survive, to be honest. Let's check. The engine still works. Ah. The chassis is grinding out on the floor there. Yeah, the entire left hand side, because it's got no wheel there, is hitting on the floor, and we're very slow to move as a result. So helped by this chair here that I seem to have pulled out. Ah, that seems to have done it. I think that was my fault due to the to where I was pulling the vehicle out from. I'm not going particularly quick. I know it's 78 miles an hour, but as you can see, we are not going that speed. And that left wheel on the rear is looking awfully suspect as well. And because we don't have a diff, that's what's making us struggle to put the power down. Well, I'd like to say that's a success, but I don't really think it's going quick enough to really be a success. Although it does look fast enough to me. So yeah, we'll call it that. We'll call that a success. Again, first go has proven to be worthwhile, even though the vehicle is in far worse shape than the Legrand was. And yeah, it isn't really long for this world because we had to really rev the engine to get it going. So yeah, the radiator is going to kill it eventually. But it survived. Actually, that was the second goal, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So yeah, second goal there for the Bruckel there, Blue Book. So let's see what happens with the newly added vehicle, the Solead Wendover, which is here. We're going to go for the rally spec version to give it the best chance possible. Not sure if it has all-wheel. Yes, it does. Lifted suspension, all-wheel drive, and a light but powerful supercharged inline 4 engine, as opposed to the V6 or V8 that is usual in this car. So yeah, you don't really want a V6 or a V8 on a rally car, to be honest. It's not very often you see a V6, and even less likely to see a V8. So yeah, lightweight inline 4 will obviously help us in terms of suspension, as we've got less weight coming down on it when we crash land. And it's hardly slow as well. About even with the Blue Book from before. We are going to come down heavy on our nose. So the suspension holds. It does for the most part. We are drifting to the left. Into the wall. Oh dear. Yeah, we're not going to drive now. We've only got 2 wheels left and both of them on the same side. That took a hell of a lot of damage, although the roll cage did survive, so it's at least doing its job in terms of being a rally car, but didn't survive the overall impact there. So let's see what a little bit of braking at the end of the ramp helps with. Coming down on our rear a little bit maybe this time. I'd rather it land on the rear than the front. More important stuff at the front than the rear. Yeah, that survived that really rather nicely. Let's see if it survives the rest of this. Turn the engine off because we're going to go headlong for the water. So if we don't leapfrog the whole thing. No, we're not. I'd rather it would land in the water, to be honest, because that's less of a deadly impact. Everything at the front dead. We were on for a winner there, but that wall there just completely puts the whole affair there. So let's see if going even slower by just letting it glide does any better. Obviously we don't want to hit that hump on the landing zone, but we also don't want to be going so fast that we going too quickly. Sand does slow us down a fair bit, but not enough. I think we're just going to get a repeat of last time. Slow us down, water. No, no. Actually, we've only lost the drive line and the radiator. Does that mean that we can survive driving? Depends if we still keep the steering or not. Come on. Let's turn the engine on, see if it still works. Yes, it does. But nothing in terms of steering or, well, more to the point, power. Yeah, we've lost the entire front subframe by the looks of things. Because, yeah, that front wheel still works. Because it's hanging in the air from the buckled chassis, and we don't know how long our rear wheel drive either. Yeah, that's a complete failure, unfortunately. So despite being the rally version of the Wendover, yeah, it's no more, you know, safe than maybe the original version. So yeah, we'll try out the stock version or the more, you know, civilian orientated version at some other point. But yeah, the rally version there being an unfortunate disappointment. But at least 2 of the 3 vehicles that we tried today did work after crash landing. So with the Legrand going for a win for its first effort, and the Blue Book after 2 efforts. So yeah, those 2 did impress overall. But yeah, this, yeah, despite being the rally version, really was not as successful as I would have hoped, to be honest. So yeah, let's hope the more stock version can do better next time. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.